Good evening. Thank you so much for coming tonight. My name's John Alexander. I'm head of sixth form here at Northgate, and I really value the opportunity to show you what our sixth form's like. We're very proud of our sixth form, and we're very proud of our sixth formers. Seem particularly bunched up at the moment, but that's okay. Who are we? Well, we're a sixth form of 500 year 12 and 13 combined. So we're big, but we're not massive. And that's a key thing to what we can offer. Lots of sixth forms will offer different things, and there's some very good sixth form providers in the area. However, the students who are here in year 11, you need to almost like make the choice on the basis of the information you get. So although we have 500 students in our sixth form, over 50% of them didn't come to Northgate between years 7 and 11. If you look at the screen, there are examples of where students have come to us from. And so we take in from about 30 different places, which makes us unique in terms of school-based sixth forms. What that also means is that it is a fresh start, it is different, and it becomes a great melting pot of people, as you are going to hear from our students tonight. Ofsted, in their infinite wisdom, gave us this quote. And while I don't hold a great deal of sway in quotes from certain people, I just want to point out some things that were mentioned on there. And the first thing is the concept of community. I am very keen on the idea of community being important. You will hopefully hear from our students tonight that we are big on community. You're not just a student at Northgate, you're a Northgate student when you're in sixth form. And that means being part of something important, and it means being part of something full stop. And we expect students, or not that we expect students, but our students, wherever they come from, will feel part of something like that. Also, it's the idea of students being individuals. We value the individual. Because there are 500 students here, okay, we are big enough for people to kind of like feel like they've gone somewhere different, but they don't lose that individuality. And I'm very keen, particularly on the idea that each student is valued as an individual. And I try and remember all the students' names, which I think I've pretty much got down pat. But that's important to you, because we want you to be you, your name, not you, I can't remember your name. And I think that's really, really important. And the last thing I'd like to point out is the idea of stimulating and challenging learning opportunities. And I think that's key, that we provide, subject-specific teachers who are accessible and who will kind of go through things with students if they need them to. Brass tack stuff. Why curriculum choice? We offer 32 different subjects, okay, at A level. We have an extended project qualification that I'll talk about in a minute. We ask that students start on 3 A levels so that then they've got time to do something that we call enrichment. And enrichment is that we ask all of our students to do something other than just their lessons. Their lessons are massively important, but growth as a person is important to us as well. So whether it be something that, students do already, helping out at clubs or guides, or playing for a local football team, or volunteering, or doing work experience, we want to encourage students to continue doing that, because that is incredibly important, not just for a CV, not just for an application, but for them as students and people as well. We also offer a 1-year GCSE retake course. We know that for some students, for whatever reason, their GCSEs don't fully reflect the ability. So what we do for some students is we put them on a 3-year programme rather than a 2-year programme. The first year being to redo their GCSEs, and then the next 2 years to be hopefully moving on to an A-level course. We have an excellent academic track record, but to me, you can look at the numbers if you like, but look at the pictures. The students there who are happy and celebrating, and trust me, that photograph on the right took quite a long time to set up, but what's important is all of those students didn't just get straight A stars. What those students did was that they got the results that they worked for and the results that they wanted to move on to the next phase. And that's what's important to me, and that's what's important to Northgate. Okay, is helping young people achieve their potential. So, for example, we run things like the Aspire programme for students that started this week, where we don't just look at academic skills, we look at things like writing a CV, interview technique, teamwork, leadership, and that's an accredited programme where they get a certificate at the end, and it ensures that they do things outside of what they do at the moment. We offer the Ambassador Scheme. As you can see, lots of the students here are wearing natty blue t-shirts, okay? But we offer the opportunity for our students to have leadership. This is something they offer at university. So with my son, I went around Open Days recently. You've got loads of university ambassadors, and they do it very well. So we've given the leadership opportunities to these students. Okay? And what it is they do things like tours, like tonight. Hopefully they're not getting too wet, but they'll be outside guiding people around and showing them where things are. Because we know that our students are the best advert for us. They do things like go back and visit their previous schools. So, Sienna, you did that this week, as I said about half an hour ago. I'll say it again. Sienna went back to Ipswich Academy, and was it quite nice or not? Yeah, because you feel grown up and everything, don't you, when you go back? So that's a good thing. So we offer these leadership opportunities. And certainly, I think that some of you sat on the stage now, even 4 weeks ago, wouldn't have thought we'd be doing something like this. And it's about increasing confidence within our students, and I think that's fantastic. They also help support younger pupils lower down the school. And in some ways, one question you might be asking is it just like school? Why would I want to go to a sixth form that's attached to a school? Well, the sixth form is separate. It's got its own block, its own catering, as you're going to see. But then it affords us opportunities like the Science Buddy Scheme or the English Buddy Scheme. I know for definite some of you sitting on the stage here would have had sixth formers come into your lessons when you were younger, okay, and you idolise them. And what's nice is that that's you now, and you are role models for the rest of the students in the school. We also have our enrichment programme, which we've nattily titled Encompass. Okay, and Encompass is a programme where we record the extracurricular activities the students do, so that we can then use it in references and things like that. We offer the EPQ, which is the extended project in Year 13. And what this is a kind of a research project, okay, where students choose a subject that they're interested in, research it. It's the equivalent of 2/3 of an A-level, but more importantly, it gives students research skills that hopefully they use at university. And they really can choose their own topics. So I had a girl, JC, we'll call her because that was her name. She would want to do psychology at university, hadn't studied psychology at A-level, so she wrote a delightful EPQ on should we test under fives for psychopathic tendencies. Something that perhaps some parents in here wish was mandatory. However, it was a very good piece of work, okay, and it got her to where she wanted to go. One question you should all ask is, whatever sixth form you're going to, or whatever provider you look around, is what support will I get when things perhaps aren't going as well as they could? Everybody will tell you how wonderful places are when things are going well, but you need to look at the support that will be in place for you when you need that support. We have an extensive level of support. You will have a tutor that you will see every day. We then have career support, we then have kind of emotional support, and those of you that have learning support needs or exam access arrangements, they will continue on when you're in sixth form. We have Mrs. Nunn, who's based in the common room tonight, and she ensures that the transition between whichever high school you've been to and sixth form here, we give you the support that you need and you're used to, and that is really, really important. We monitor attendance because often that is the first indicator that there may be an issue, and so we ensure that we support at that point. You have an assistant head of sixth form who's the head of year, and then you have a head of sixth form who is me. And then we offer work experience and enrichment opportunities. Now, I fully understand that in the current climate, finances are a concern. We run a bursary scheme, which is administered by the school, but if your family income is below a certain level, okay, there is financial support available to break down barriers to learning. So things like a laptop, things like a bus pass, things like paying for trips, that financial support is there. Okay, there is more information on that on our website, so obviously, if that's something of interest to you, then please look. If you currently get free school meals at your high school now, okay, that continues on in the sixth form and with the sixth form catering, so that's key. You will probably get hold of what's called our blocking system tonight, and that's available on the website. We ask that students choose one subject from every block, okay, and then pick enrichment from the other one, the extracurricular stuff. The reason we have the blocking system is to ensure that we have our subject-specific teachers in there. So all of our teachers, that is their subject, and they are passionate about their subject, and that's really, really important. In terms of other extracurricular things, we have a sports day, probably not in the weather like this, but it's not a normal sports day. We have a tug of war race, we have a three-legged race, a sack race, all of the fun things that they have at primary school that we forget that we can still do. And that's kind of what we are, it's fun and enjoyment, it's being part of the community as well. We have a link up with Ipswich Town in terms of the academy scholars who want to do A-levels, come to us, and they did their A-levels, and also then go and play and train with Ipswich Town afterwards. And Kate, you're going to talk about that a bit later, aren't you? We run trips on the left. On your left, up there is a picture of the Iceland trip, where geography students went to Iceland and looked at the kind of geographical features there and had a jolly nice time as well, so I hear. On the right is the Berlin trip, which Mr. Bannon, who is our deputy head, who's affiliated to the sixth form and a history teacher, as he'll probably mention several times in a minute, he went to Berlin with the history group, and that's a regular trip, isn't it? That I never get asked on, but there you go. So we run as many trips as we possibly can, because we understand that education goes beyond the classroom, and I think that's really important. Student voice is massively important as well. We have a sixth form council, we have a student union, and Georgia has been integral in setting that up this year, the New Year group, and has been brilliant doing that as well, so thank you, Georgia. Because student voice is really important, okay? We want to make sure that the experience for our students is as good as it possibly can be. And so the student council, the student union, is a really important part of what we do. And I think that's a key thing to our sense of community that I'll mention. For those of you who like doing that kind of thing, there is free gym access, okay, after school, and I'm contractually bound to mention that we have a free car park as well. No reason for that whatsoever. We have great facilities. We have a dark room, we have drama and dance studios, and the facilities are absolutely fantastic there, and hopefully you'll get a chance to look around them. And also we have our own sixth form catering, the Natalie titled Cafe 6, okay, where they serve all kinds of different snacks. The chicken burgers on a Thursday are particularly popular. There are vegetarian options available, obviously, but you know, part of the council's job, part of the students' job is suggest things, and we do themed events and things like that. So last year we had a kind of a world awareness week where each day the cuisine of a different continent was reflected in the menu that was served in Singapore. We also have a very active charity committee. So we are in the process of setting up a food bank, not just for Christmas, but throughout the year, because the students wanted to do that, and they're going to run an initiative. So, you know, as Georgia will probably say, we have a lot of kind of events going on, Freshers Week and things like that, and a Christmas fair this year, which will be very exciting, and we all get to wear Christmas jumpers, which is great. But anyway, enough of a slightly grey middle-aged man talking to you about what the sixth form is like. We'll hand over to the people who actually matter. And Mr. Bannon, can you talk to our students, because they're bad?
Yeah, so this is this bit's unscripted. So I'm just going to ask a couple of questions, and if we do pass the mic. As I said before, you do look a bit like a boy band from the 1990s about to sing us a song, but they're going to tell us lots about the sixth form. I think it's important that wherever you go, you do get the student voice and you do listen to the actual students that are here. So most of this presentation is from the voices of the people who really matter. So if you could just introduce yourself, what school you came from, what subjects you're doing, and I suppose why you chose Northgate and what you value about it.
I'm Grace. I came from Northgate and I do law, psychology and English lit, and I chose to stay at Northgate because I thought that I liked the teachers and I already knew what was going on and how everything worked here, and I knew that my friends were staying on here, so I felt that was the best thing to do. And at the moment I really enjoy law because the teachers are very supportive and they're already trying to get us started up on different clubs to do, and I think I'd like to pursue law further in the future, so it's really interesting.
Hi, I'm Toby. I take double maths, physics and computer science, and I chose to come to Northgate partly because it was quite close to my house, but also I really actually liked it here. I knew all the teachers very well. I knew I liked the sort of the timetable of 4 lessons. That's something I've always liked. A lot of schools have like 5 or 6 lessons, and I need to sort of be sat down for a long time doing like something to really actually focus on it. So I knew I liked the way the school worked, so I thought I'd just continue on here, and so far it's been a great decision.
I'm Sienna, and I do psychology, sociology and photography, but I came from Ipswich Academy and I chose Northgate because mainly the facilities that they have here. When I went around all the other open days for the sixth form in colleges, I didn't really like the kind of just facilities they had as much as I like Northgate, especially the dark room in photography. That was my favourite.
Hi, I'm Kate. I took biology, history and politics. I came from Stanway School in Colchester, so it's a really big commute for me, but I found that Northgate was the right decision because of their connections to Ipswich Town. Maybe further, but no other programme locally to be allowed me to do A-levels and play football. But Northgate have been really, really helpful in allowing me to study and leave halfway through a lesson maybe or something like that so that I can go and train. I train about 8 hours a week, and yet somehow I only miss 2 lessons, which is actually really helpful. And I think the people and facilities are really lovely and great.
Hi, I'm Georgia. I do biology, chemistry, and English literature, and I went to Northgate before this. And I chose Northgate because I was really interested in science. I think the science facilities here are probably the best in the area I found when looking around other schools. And I personally think that the science teachers we have here are the best. They're really, really good, really helpful, and really friendly. And the support you get here is just, I think it's unmatched. So it was quite an easy decision for me. I think I really enjoy it here.
Hello, my name is Sahar. I take biology, chemistry and maths. Before Northgate, I went to Westbourne Academy, and for me, the whole reason why I chose Northgate was because I like the whole community feeling of Northgate. I like that we were all treated as individuals, and I am looking to go into medicine after my gap year, so I would say that my favourite subject currently is probably biology, because of the whole medical aspect of it. And like Georgia said, the science department here is just absolutely amazing. You can get help whenever you want. They're super supportive, and Northgate is always, I've always known Northgate has had the best science department.
Hello, my name is Valentina, and I take English literature, law and psychology. Before coming here, I went to Ipswich Academy, and the main reason why I chose to come to Northgate is my head of year at Ipswich Academy said that Northgate is like a great school for if like you want to have a one-on-one with a teacher. So it's a lot of like the teachers can really help you if you really need it. So it's not like they can give you a lot of like help through it. So that's the reason I mostly came here for. I think my favourite subject is probably English literature because of the creative side of it. It's not just essay writing after essay writing. You can like, it's a lot of, you can say your opinion in English lit, and you can just, no judgment in the class either. So I really like the open kind of environment of the class.
Hello, my name is Mahmoud. I take biology, chemistry, maths and Arabic, which the school has paid for last year. I chose to come to Northgate because I was here for high school and the teachers were really helpful and I like them. So yeah, I came here again.
Good evening everyone, my name's Harry. I came to Northgate from Claydon. Claydon was a very small high school, and coming to Northgate from a small high school to a relatively small sixth form was very nice because leaving Claydon you had a very good relationship with your teachers, and that's reflected in Northgate. Because it's a small sixth form, you're seeing those teachers almost every day, and you only have 1 or 2 subject teachers. And having that 1 or 2 subject teachers allows you to generate a close relationship. So if there's any concerns that you have, any troubles that you have with work, you're able to go and see them. You don't sit there and think, oh, they might be busy, should I really go and see them? You're encouraged to go see them if you have any problems, and that definitely really helps. My favourite subject is geography, and I'm hoping to progress onto university to study geography because I really like the way that you study both sort of a climate and a human side, and the way that you can find different pathways to progress through different issues that are both socially and sort of environmentally in the world today.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I came from Ormiston. I take biology, psychology and sport, and I came to Northgate just like Harry. Coming from a smaller school, you want more of a community, and you'd be able to be more one-on-one with teachers and sort of get to know a small group of people rather than being sort of a little fish in a big pond at a bigger college. I'd say my favourite subject is sport. I think we've got great facilities here and the classroom environment is really good as well.
Right, thank you very much. We're going to get the mic back to Grace in a moment, but one of my jobs as deputy head teacher of the school is to oversee the curriculum, and one of the things I'm really picking up on is that real passion for subjects. So I used to do a lot of interviews for universities looking at A-level students with good grades. Most of them had the same grade. The thing I was really looking for when I was doing those interviews was that real passion for your subject. I teach history, as Mr. Alexander said. In my opinion, it's the most important subject anyone could study. But if I said to Mr. Alexander, he would disagree with me. He'd say, no, film, media, English is a more important subject. But you want that passion from your teachers. And the nice thing is, because I didn't know what they were going to say genuinely, is that passion that your teachers have got for your subjects is shining through in you. So I'm really, really proud of that. And the other thing is how much our teachers here give for that one-to-one support. It's so important. That individual feedback makes a massive difference. So we've talked a lot about support for lessons and the kind of subjects that you do. As Mr. Alexander said, that's about 60% of it perhaps. But what extracurricular activities do you do? Really for the year 13s, that question. And then maybe for the year 12s as we get towards the end, it might be what extracurricular activities you're planning to do, or how have you settled in? Because it is a big jump coming from another school for some of you, and A-levels are a big step up from GCSE, so what's helped?
So settling in, it's really easy. Like, obviously coming from smaller school, not as many people come across, and everyone's really mature, and you speak to each other a lot more like adults rather than some say children. But yeah, it's really easy to make new friends and settle in. Extracurricular wise, I played for the school football team. We got to the finals of the county cup last year. Sadly lost. But
we're definitely going. Mr. Alexander, I feel there was a referee in the stadium. He needed VAR. If we had VAR, would have won that cup definitely.
But yeah, that's run completely by the students, and really allows you to make new friends within that between both year groups. It allows year 13s to support year 12s as well. So.
The jump up from GCSE to A-level is hard. There's no way around it. And as I mentioned earlier, that close-knit, small sixth form, getting to know your teachers well, having close relationships with them, really helps with settling in for those first few weeks of getting used to your new A-level subjects, and that really makes the transition quite seamless. In terms of extracurricular activities, as I mentioned earlier, again, that sort of the close-knit community allows you to find some really nice links to both inside the sixth form and externally, volunteering opportunities, work experience opportunities that can really help boost your CV, boost your personal statement for whatever you want to do in the future.
So I'm Dan, and So as Dan and Harry have said, it's really easy to make friends here because of the clubs that you can join. So for me personally, I joined the chess club, and last year was running club, but it got cancelled because not enough people came to it. And we're running a Muslim society club that is basically about like explaining misconceptions about Islam, and we're trying to make a multi-faith prayer room, which is new. I think that's good.
That's a really good example because the students are actually designing the room, they're resourcing the room. It was their idea to set it up, and not just because he's sitting here, but Mr. Alexander is fantastic. If you've got an idea and a passion for something, we've got a diversity group, we've got sports clubs, we've got chess clubs, there's so much to do. If you want to set something up, we'll support it. So that's really, really important to us. It's the work-in lessons, but it's also that extracurricular element that's so important.
Well, for settling in, I think it was very easy for me to do. There wasn't a lot of people that came from Ipswich Academy in my year when I came, so I had to make new friends. And I think it's very easy to make new friends as everyone is kind of in the same boat in a way, so you can just talk to them about your subjects and see what's going on, what you find difficult and what you find easy and what you need help on. So I don't think making friends or joining a social group would be like an issue. I have done work experience 1 week before my actual mocks in year 12, which was a rough decision, but Mr. Alexander really did help with that, because after I did finish my work experience, he gave me like help, and even my teachers helped me with like extra revision lessons or gave me advice on how I could like catch up on stuff before my actual mocks. So yeah, they really did help with that.
I found socialising at Northgate and making new friends quite easy, despite only about 5 people from Westbourne coming to Northgate. And I think that's mostly because everyone here is just super friendly. I feel like you can go up to anyone and basically start up a conversation, and that would be fine. In terms of extracurriculars, I've done quite a lot of things, but I've done the science buddy program that the science department runs, where the year 12s and 13s can go into the year 7 and 8 classes and help them out with their lessons, which I think is good for the year 7s and year 8s because they have someone closer to their age teaching them, and also good for us because it builds confidence. I've also become the head of Medical Society, which is just a little group where we discuss applying to medicine and just seeing if medicine is for you and just discussing things along those areas.
I think settling into A-levels as a whole at Northgate I found really easy. I think the way that the timetable is set out, you have quite a lot of independent study time. I think the independence is really good for someone like me. I found it really helpful. I feel like it built confidence in me, confidence that is useful for set up the student union, which is going really well, and then that's helped to kind of push the community feel of Northgate along. And so we're setting up like a freshers fair, we have theme days, we're doing bake sales in the future, and in the student union we also have a charity committee. We're setting up a food bank soon. So yeah, I think there's a lot of extracurricular opportunities for everyone. You can set up anything you like. It's really, really useful.
So for settling into Northgate for me was a lot less scary than I thought it'd be. So no one from my secondary school went here. And actually it almost made me better for it because, I mean, I was sat in this place in one of those seats last year and I would not have been able to imagine being here. But the ambassador program, just teachers in general, you're really encouraged to try new things and you're set a lot of independent learning so you can sort of develop as a person on your own. And I'm also part of the girls football team. So I think we're in the quarter-finals of some cup, which is quite cool.
I think settling into Northgate was a lot easier than you might think. Like, I only came from maybe 1 or 2 people from my friend group last year, but everyone's just so nice and welcoming and just want to talk to you and just kind of get involved.
So I was at Northgate for year 11, so, well, and for the whole of high school, so settling in wasn't too difficult. But there are changes when you go up to sixth form, and you get accustomed to them very quickly. In terms of like extracurricular stuff, I think this has been a really big help, this ambassador scheme, because Mr. Burnham said there were going to be 900 people here today, and I don't know at what other point I'm going to get the opportunity to do public speaking in front of 900 people. So it's just something great, and I hope it will be good on my CV. So.
Because I went to Northgate, I found it quite alright moving up to the sixth form, but it's nice to have a bit of a change, like the freedom of your own uniform, and that you can then make different friends from different schools. So the change is nice. And for extracurriculars, because I do law, I'm a part of the Suffolk Law Club that's starting soon for the University of Suffolk, which Miss Whittingham helped us to join into. And then we're doing debate club as well. And for English, I'm doing the English Buddies and reading club in the library because I enjoy working with the younger children to help them.
It's fantastic. When I was talking to our year 7s, because we've got a year 7 event on tonight as well, I was asking them what's really helped them settle in, the year 7s, and they said the year 12s and the year 13s who come into our lessons and help out. That's fantastic. The fact that we're doing things like the food bank, charity committees, that makes me really proud as well. When Mr. Alexander and I first set up the ambassador scheme, we thought, you know, like at some schools you just like have prefects, or you get a head boy and a head girl. We've had 100 volunteers from our students for the last 3 years. That's incredible. People, students willing to give something back, many of them to their community, but certainly to their school community as well. So I personally think our students are our best advert, hence giving them the stage, not knowing what they're going to say, including with Toby, who's been very, very honest. You know, you lived here at school, so you thought that's a good start. But there are other reasons as well, and massive round of applause for you giving up your free time for me.
Yeah, thank you. And as you walk around the site, you'll see that I think we've got over 100 students from year 12 and year 13 who've given up their free time tonight to help out. So please, please, please kind of walk around, ask the students questions, okay, because they're the most important ones. Just to finish, here's some dates in your diary. Friday, the closing date for applications is Friday the 27th of January. But please, the applications open today. So if you want to put in an application, go on the website, put in the application, that'd be fantastic. Every student is interviewed, which makes it sound vaguely sinister, but actually we'll just invite you in for a chat so you can get to know us and we can get to know you as well, and that's part of kind of the start of coming to us. The 6th of July is induction day. That's like a taster day. Please come along and taste us in all new subjects. It would be brilliant. Results day is in August, but let's not talk about that. And term starts on the 6th of September 2023 for those of you with extended diaries. I hope that you have found that useful. I'm so immensely proud of our students. Can we give another round of applause?